Let's just wait for Fraser to dial in, and we'll get going. In the meantime, Alex, did you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Cool. Okay. All right, let me close this door because Adele's playing Ocean Colour super loud.
Hello, Fraser.
Sorry, I thought the meeting started at 3 for some reason. Even though
that's all right.
Set the time.
Pop quiz, Fraser. What day is it today?
Sunday.
Sunday. Whee! Good work. Good work. Okay. Fraser, before you get started, were there any questions?
No, I didn't have any. No.
Okay. Cool. So today then we're going to do a number of things. First thing is we're going to do a little bit of refactoring of this repository code, and refactoring is a fancy word that means we're going to change it, right? And what I've decided arbitrarily is that when we create a person repository, it will look at the disk and load up everything that's available. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is change the public load all to be a private load all. Right, because we don't want anyone else to be able to load all. We want to control that logic. And we've got a private load by full path. So if we want to initialize a class, where do we normally put our code?
In the model?
Yep, in the model, yep.
If we're initializing it, in the controller.
In the constructor is the word you're looking for, but I think that's what you meant.
That is what I meant, CTOR.
Okay. So do we have a constructor in this class as yet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do, excellent. So all right, that's great. So we're creating the dictionary. The next thing we want to do then is we want to load all the things from the disk.
So would you just list up?
Load all. No, we've written our load all method, which will do the work for us. So this dot load all.
Just this dot load all. You don't need to.
There we go. Cool. Now here's the interesting thing. If you have a look at load all, there's some code there, and you look at load by full path, and there's a bit more code there, and we can see that load all actually needs to now call load by full path. So at the moment in line 75, you've got load by ID. You need to change that to load by full path. Cool. So load all does some work and it calls load by full path. And now the constructor is calling load all, which is calling load by full path. We could put all of that code in the constructor and get rid of those two methods. But this is better because it allows for reuse. Okay. So if we wanted to, for whatever reason, load by full path somewhere else, we wouldn't have to cut and paste the text. Right, we've got a method, so we can just call that. So a little bit of OO discussion again then. Classes should try and take care of just one idea, and methods should try and take care of one idea. They shouldn't do 50 squillion things. Okay, so let's have a look at our constructor. And let's put a breakpoint on line 24, and let's, how were we testing this? We didn't have any tests, did we? We were using the scratch pad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go to the scratch pad and look at program and scroll down, and we've got a load all. So let's put let's actually, where have we got, okay, so line 33, we need a breakpoint on there. And you can delete the rest of the text, the rest of the code if you want. I think we're kind of done with that now. So, and you might as well, for the sake of clarity, delete 30, 31, and 32, because otherwise it's going to possibly confuse you. So what we're going to do now is just test that the personal repository creates our collection and then loads everything that it can find on the disk. Because we've decided, like crazy mofos, that there's only going to be 10 people. It's not like there's a million of them. It's not going to clog up our machine. So let's run that. Hit the play button at the top there, and let's step through it.
Mine isn't letting me put a breakpoint on that point you said for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you clicked left enough on the screen?
Yeah, it's just putting it at a different line, but it won't. So when I click it, it puts at a specific line.
Oh, is it putting it before or after?
After.
Okay, that's annoying. All right, we'll come back to that, Fraser. Let's step through this code just for a sec. Okay, let's have a look then.
It deleted all of my files for the people that we did the other day because they were just arbitrary little play arounds.
Oh,
So,
okay. So
I don't have anything to load.
Okay, well, you know what to do. Let's change your code then. Let's change this to create and save a few people.
Yeah. Okay. So what am I doing?
While you're doing that,
Oh,
let me look at phrases with him.
Yeah. Okay. Let me stop screen sharing and.
Yeah.
So it's just here. So you wanted to put it here, but it would just.
Oh no. Line 17.
Line 17.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
There you go. It's just my magic touch, Fraser.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, this happens, right? You'll have people say, "Oh, can you just come over and help me with this?" And then the moment you turn up, they will fix
starts
it.
working again.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Were you adding a breakpoint in here as well?
No, not necessary because you've got the other one. I mean, Mike did, but that doesn't matter.
Shall I stop screen sharing, or should I just?
Let's step through yours. And the purpose of our debugging now is just to refresh your mind about what's going on with our load all and load by path. So you can step into that, load all.
Step in again.
Yep. So I just want you to step over that and just look at each line of text and look at the variables in there in the locals window or the watch window, and just get your head around what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So have a look at paths. Okay. So the key point here is that directory method on line 91 has got us all of the files that match star.person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And then let's go and watch this happen. Yeah, let's step into the next one. We'll keep stepping. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's all right. It's doing its work. Oh, okay. So what value hasn't been? All right, let's have a look at original value. Original value is none.
Mm-hmm.
Null. Okay, so that means that's one of your dodgy persons again who has not got a value for something that needs a value.
What, something in the person repository?
It was something in one of your person saves to disk.
Oh, okay.
So you could either go and look at them and see which one's broken, or just delete them and create a few more.
Yeah, probably just delete them.
Okay. Where was your path? It's
Yeah, it
storage.
was
There it
down-
is. I see it. Storage. No, it's not. I beg your pardon. That's our source code.
Programming. It should be in storage, shouldn't it?
It's in programming storage.
Ah,
So keep going up. So wherever that was. Oh, it's in Fraser Salisbury. There we go. Sweet. So one of those peoples is broken, and I reckon it's the bottom one, which is mysteriously smaller than all the others. Look.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to guess that that one's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Mhm. Do I just keep on going through that then, or do I start it?
Yeah, start it again. You might as well. I would like to see you sort of just look at both methods running. Okay, Alex, did yours work okay?
Yeah, I think so. I can run through it all.
Cool. Mike?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've got it's finding files. I've got 4 in my string, so it should be good. It's made 4 of us.
Cool.
It should be okay.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, so we can see that that looks like it's working.
Mhm. How do you get onto the?
That's all right. Let's have a look at this dot people now on your line 95. Let's just mouse over that. So we can see it has actually loaded one person up, and it will continue to load the rest of them. So I think you just hit the play button now, Fraser, and resume it all. That looks good. Okay, cool. Right, so the next thing we're going to do today, and I find this quite exciting, and hopefully you will too, is we're going to write a whole series of web pages that allows you to list all the people that you've got, edit them, delete them, view the details, and add new ones. Okay, so we're building a disk-based database. And what we're going to do that quickly and easily is use Visual Studio's generator to generate all the code for us. And once that code is generated, it will produce a lot of code for you to play with and look at and learn from. Okay, so most of my learning is done by looking at existing code and figuring it out. And we're really fortunate that Visual Studio is going to do that for us. So I'd like to swap back to Mike or Alex's machine. I'm sorry, Fraser, because yours is a Mac. It might well hold me up. So whose is this? Alex's?
It's Mike's.
It's mine.
Okay, and you're saving your people as .text files?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And what about your save method?
Where's my save methods? Yeah, I just kept them as text files, so I didn't need to go and open them in
no
text.
worries. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So we have our model. Let's now get a person. Let's make a person controller.
Okay, sorry. Let me try and move. I hate it on Zoom having the faces because they're always in the way. It doesn't matter where they go; they're always in the way.
You can make it horizontal, and I put them in the bottom right corner usually. So there's not much going on down there.
Yeah, I think I'll go for that. Yeah.
You can make it so it's just the active speaker.
Can I? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Cool, person controller. Here we go.
So actually, let's delete everything in there. Okay, and right click person controller and see what we can do. Can we actually just delete the whole controller for now? Just delete the whole thing and let's see if we can get Visual Studio to do a bit more work for us. Just delete the file.
I'll just delete the file. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so right click the controllers folder and add new scaffold. Let's try new scaffolded item. Let's see what that gives us. Let's go MVC controller with read write actions. Cool. I'm going to call it person or person controller. Look at that. Okay, so let's look at the methods it's given us, the actions. It's given us index, and by convention, index is a list, right? That's a list view. Details, it's taking an ID, and create is empty. Post is creating an object. And edit is editing a particular instance. So, this hasn't done what I wanted it to do. So we should be able to pick an object. Okay, so let's click on index. Yeah, okay, click on index and right click it. And let's add a view. And we don't want an empty one. Okay, yeah, raise a view. And then we want template is index. No, list, sorry, thank you, yeah. And the model class is
Person or
yeah,
repository.
It's person. And we don't want to create it as a partial view, correct? That's good, okay, and that's good. Click add. Cool. Okay, so let's look at the top of this file. We're saying that the code has generated a line of text which said our model is an enumerable list of people. So when you see enumerable, without disappearing down the rabbit hole, that means a list that you can step over one item at a time. Okay. So this view is based on a list of people, which makes sense. And you can see there it's got a, well, we'll come back to what's in there, right? Let's just flesh this out and make it work. Okay, and then we'll come back and view it. Let's go back to the person controller. Now, I can tell you that the all controllers, if you think back to our web diagram with the web browser passing in an address and the .NET Core web site looks at the address that's come in and says, go and use this controller or that controller or the other controller. And what happens is .NET Core will create an instance of your person controller, run the method that it's told to, and then it will disappear from memory. It will die. Okay, so the person controller, once it's created and a method's called, it disappears again. It's not consistent. Sorry, it's not persistent. So every time you hit that website, it creates a new instance of the person controller, calls the action, and then dies, right, once the result's been spat out. So let's have a constructor for this.
Sorry, interrupt, but would you be right to just quickly run through that index thing you did?
Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah, sure. So we right-clicked index, clicked on add view.
That's in the controller, yeah.
Yeah. So inside the index method somewhere, right-click and go to. In fact, should we have a look at your machine? Let's share it out and look at yours. Let's get our mob programming eyes on it.
Visual Studio's had to download a package for it, so and it just is literally just done it now.
Okay. It's not running at the moment, is it?
No, this is the problem I had before when I had to manually add in the view.
Oh, okay. So right click a bit. Navigate, click on navigate. What's in there? No. Oh, okay. I guess it's just not as mature a product. That's a real bummer. So what I suggest we do is we work with the other lads, and then they'll do a push of their code, and you can pull it down.
Okay.
It's probably easier than you trying to manually type it all. Although manually typing it all would certainly make you learn it. So I guess we're being a bit hampered there unfortunately, by your Visual Studio.
Yeah, I don't mind that much typing it up. It would just take me a bit of time, I think, to fully understand it. So I'd probably just have to do it outside.
Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at Alex's or Mike's then. Sorry, Fraser, that's really harsh.
That's all right.
Okay, so it generated a view for us. Now let's see in the let's write a constructor for person controller.
Do you put it in anywhere or just generally?
I would put it at the top there, just before that first method. Yeah. Okay, and let's also have a private field, which is an instance of our person repository. Good, so private.
Oh, purpose. Is it? Of what type is it?
It's person repository. It's person repository, is it? Is that what you called it? Yeah. Okay, and of course we don't have a reference for it, which is why it's
right, okay.
Underlined. So using game.storage. Excellent. I would just call it people. Person repository, people. With a lowercase p. Excellent. Okay, semicolon.
Semicolon.
Yeah. Okay, and now in our person controller, in the constructor, let's initialize it. So this dot people equals new. Cool.
Person repository.
Okay, so what we're saying now is every time this controller gets called, it will create a person repository, and we know every time we create a person repository, it goes and loads up all the people from the disk. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we now need to pass into the view the thing that the view is expecting, right? Which is the list of people. So let's do inside, and I've given you a bum steer here. We should have used a different kind of collection. So this is going to be a bit seat of the pants for the moment. So inside the earrings for view, let's put this dot people dot I'm sorry. Yeah, we should have called it person repository, shouldn't we? Okay, and then people, which is the collection on the repository. Yeah, go and rename it. I'm sorry. Change it from people to person repository, or just repo or whatever.
Call it repo.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, and then inside after that, there, I'll put a dot there, and let's see what we've got on option. So let's see. Let's scroll down through that list of stuff. Oh, there we go. As enumerable. That might be what we wanted. As enumerable.
Is that the...
No, we don't want that. Actually, we want the values rather. So there's the key and the value, and we actually just want the values. So go to values. That should be there as well. Okay, and then click on that, and then do another dot. There we go. As enumerable. Cool. Let's put that. Okay, and then open Sharpie brackets. And then put person. And then at the end, you want your earrings. Oops. Cool.
Doesn't like person. What should that be?
That's because we don't have a reference to models yet. Person, okay, and then do control dot using games.models. Okay, so let's have a look at that line of text there. So we're looking at the repository. We're looking at the people dictionary. We're getting all the values from the people dictionary, and we're returning them as an enumerable, i.e. a list of type person. And then yeah.
No, sorry, I was just affirming what you said. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then we're passing that into the view, which we just created. So why don't you run that and let's see if it works as though by magic.
This is something I assume I won't be able to do yet because it's obviously I don't have the index.
You don't have the view, yeah. You can do all the code in the controller.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing so far.
Okay.
What was it? It's
person/index. Holy moly! Will you look at that?
okay.
And it's even giving you links to go and edit them all, which currently will do nothing because they want to control the methods that don't have views. But it's because we're only on step one, right? We've created the index view, and now that you've got this code, when Fraser gets it, bless him, you can play with it and tidy it up and style it and make it look nice and do all sorts. Okay, so how about we do the create new next? Let's go and...
Sorry, let me get back in. Tabs are open.
I wonder actually if you can... Do you know what? We can keep Fraser up to speed really quickly, and let's do that. Fraser, if Mike, can you show your views folder? There you go. Look, you've got views, person, and index CSHTML. So Fraser, if you quickly make that person folder in your views folder, we can use the notes here to cut and paste the text to you.
Yep. Okay. So views.
I don't want you to get left behind.
So just add a view.
Do you want me just to paste it in the chat?
Paste it in the chat window, yeah.
No, Where is that stopped? Because that's stopped halfway through.
Stopped halfway through first name for the.
Yeah, then we can continue.
You could try it in WhatsApp if you wanted.
That should be fine. That should continue.
Okay, so that's
both
the
of those.
first half.
Okay, let's just give Fraser a couple of minutes to catch up.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot to resume the recording, but that's okay.
Go, Fraser. That should be all of the code in the chat.
Thanks for doing that.
That's right.
Interestingly, let's have a look at the view again. We'll create.
Do you want to see it in?
Sorry, I meant the code for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Looking at the top, look, it does take a model. It wants a model to be passed to it.
The model's a person. Model only.
I'm going to guess in the thing you have a thing to put in an ID, so I'm guessing we probably won't want that to be made by the...
We'll actually want the ID to be read-only, but let's come back to that for starters. Okay. So let's go to our controller. You're bang on though. You're right. We don't want that. Okay. So we know the create wants to be passed a model, the create view, because we saw that in the view definition. So let's pass it in a new person.
Well, so just instantiate a new person here, and
you can either make a variable and instantiate it there, or just pass it directly into the view, a new one.
So how would you do it in here?
Just
how
as
would you do it in the view?
If it were a variable, so just new.
All right, new. All right, just like that. Oh yeah. Thingies.
Okay. So now it's been passed an empty person.
Yeah.
So let's have a look and see what happens now. Let's see if there's a difference. Anybody, before we see it, anybody predict what the difference will be? Thinking about what happens when we create our person?
Okay.
What happens when we create our person? Oh, right. Go on, Alex, what's the difference?
Well, it comes up with date of birth and age and ID and stuff.
And it's got an ID. Because
Yes.
remember,
right, so just
constructor, we force it to have an ID.
So if I change this to...
Mine's in a different format to yours. Date and time. Mine's 0001-01-01 T00 blah blah blah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Is
it running in Chrome or Explorer?
This is in Firefox.
It's Firefox. Okay.
Create a random person. 9th of April.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar on mine.
Yeah, that'll be Firefox, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 1996.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar on mine either.
Okay.
Should this age automatically change?
No, and the reason it won't automatically change is because your website is just some HTML with some data in it.
Yeah,
it isn't the person running on the server in C#. So it doesn't have any of that functionality because we haven't written any JavaScript to be that clever.
Right, okay.
Okay, so granted, fellas, that you guys don't have calendars, let's just explore one of the other features a little bit. Let's go back to the person controller.
We can still put our date of birth in, it's just in a different format.
Right, okay, cool.
George, what's a good surname?
Well, whatever you do isn't going to work anyway because we haven't wired up that create button.
No, of course we haven't.
But that's okay. Let's
we need event listeners.
Let's go back to person controller, and at the top, I want you to add. I think. Oh no, go into person. Go into the person class. Okay, and go to the top of the file and add in using system dot. Oops. So get rid of the first dot.
Okay.
System dot data dot common dot there's nothing else, is there?
No.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do a bit of Googling. .NET Core attributes. .NET Core data annotation. There we go. Okay, you actually, what you want is system dot, all right, so instead of that using statement, change it to system dot component model dot data annotations. Oh, that was a lovely cake. That is a tasty burger. Okay.
Did you just finish on data annotations? There wasn't any more.
Yeah, that's fine. Just data annotations. Okay. So now in your person class, and just above the ID field, I want you to put a square bracket and type in the word key and then close the square bracket. Excellent. Okay. Actually, delete the blank line between it. There you go. Okay. Now, sorry?
Will that blank line have any effect, or is that just for better understanding when you're looking at it?
It's for better understanding. Yeah. So what we're saying here is, and this is some cleverness built into .NET Core, is we're saying this ID field is a primary key field. Right? We'll talk about that another time. But as a result, when it tries to draw the screen for you, it should understand that you don't change primary keys. So I'm hoping that when we now run it, the field will be disabled. for the primary key.
Oh,
So
what the?
you can't edit it. So what I'm trying to do here is we're marking up this class to give the view a bit of better information on how to draw itself. So we could also mark the age as a read-only field. So let me just see if there is a no, there isn't, but that's okay. Okay, so try running that and seeing what it looks like. It's still editable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and also next to ID, let's change that to allow another square. Sorry, let's add another square bracket. That's it, and put allow edit. Capital E. Well, edit next to it, so it's one word. And I think, oh, I beg your pardon. It's actually called editable, not allow edit. And in there, you want to do at the end of the E, in editable, let's have curly bracket, ordinary brackets, and type the word false. Okay, and now let's run it and see if it's going to figure it out. What I think we might need to do is delete your view and regenerate it.
I was just going to say, do we need to remake the view? Because surely it's just running off of that HTML. That's the field that's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, still there.
Okay,
Okay.
let's try that.
So just delete the view.
Or what was it? Create.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
And now go back to our create method and regenerate it. So if that works, then we'll it hasn't, has it? It's not been that clever.
Looks like, no, it looks like it's still there.
Could we just delete the code for the ID part in the view?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, so is that editable? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so what we should do then is, that's a shame. It seems to have taken a bit of a step backwards. All my understandings was always wrong. As Alex said, so for the ID field, instead of an input, you see on 937, let's keep the ID as visible. Let's mark that input as just a label. Or no, I'll tell you what. Here's the answer. Let's look at our index. And in there, you'll see a display for ID. There you go. You want to copy that line. HTML display for item ID.
With the razor syntax.
That's it.
like that, or
That's good, yeah. Should be anyway.
no, it doesn't like that.
Oh.
It's got item. Got to do it.
Model. Oh, okay. No, sorry. It's in that case, it's just model item.id. And in fact, maybe it's just model ID.
It's model item, then the arrow, model item.id has worked for me. It's not coming up with an error.
Cool. Great.
Well, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
Cool. Should we have our date of birth default to something a bit less insane in our person class?
Oh, doesn't bother me, but we can do.
I think we
Probably
should.
makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, I mean, pick a date which isn't the beginning of the Gregorian calendar. So in our model, in our person constructor, where we're creating the ID, also create a default date of birth. So not the person controller, but the person model.
Oh, the person model.
Yeah.
So what, set it to?
Oh, no, in the constructor.
Oh, bloody, I'm getting lost here. Too many words to tell me. So, where's my constructor? That one.
Yep.
This date of birth. Do I need to set it as date time?
Yep, it's a new date time.
New date time. And do I form it? Do I just...
So we always need our brackets.
It's the brackets, yeah.
Yes. What year?
You've
No.
it's a year 1, month 1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what these things say.
It's year first. It's year, month, day.
Oh. I don't know, what date do you want? 1950?
Whatever you fancy.
I'll go for 1970. I don't know why, but it will do.
There you go. It's the year I was born. So I'm looking at
There we go.
your date of birth setter, Mike. It looked to be empty. Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, there was a bit where I didn't catch up on the video.
Ah, okay.
I
Cool.
seem to now remember. So I don't know what should be in there.
That's
the
show exception if too old or too young, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just copy and paste it into the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Alex.
Would you be all right to put that, once you've done that, then you create a view in there as well, please?
Yeah. What did I call it? I called it age calculator.
I think the new create view is the same except for one of the lines changed.
Oh, is it? I thought you deleted it and then...
It just came out the same again.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you the screen phase and we can change it. It is just this line here, line 37.
Okay, just
So it was an input on the previous one, which allowed you to edit it. But
ID and then okay.
I've also put a break on the line above, so it's not just ID and then that all on the same line, just for aesthetic purposes.
Let's copy it from the chat quickly.
Pardon, Fraser.
I'm just copying it again from the chat.
Oh, while you're at it, look, you can actually delete line 38 because it's got some kind of validation message, which you're not going to validate that field because it's not going to change.
Cool. Oh, Fraser needs it.
So should we just quickly test that date of birth is now set to a sensible thing?
Okay.
Let's have a look at it. Oh, what happened there?
Breakpoint.
What was the problem? I didn't see it.
Oh, too old. Oh.
Why is it doing that? I just need to go get my charger quickly. We'll be back in a second.
Okay. Okay, is it working for you fellas?
Yep,
Cool.
it's got the right date in there.
Okay. Right, I'm going to pause the recording. I'm just going to quickly nip and get a cup of coffee, grab a drink, have a wee or something, right? Be back in a
Okay.
sec.